It's 89.1 WYBF, John the Ninja here, and I am joined with one of the world's greatest bassists, as I said it before, the world's greatest f***ing bassist, and his name is Jake Figueroa, and he is the bassist for the groove rock band Crobot. Crobot is Brandon Yeagley, Chris Bishop, Jake, and his brother Paul. Having humble beginnings in 2013 in Pottstown, PA, Crobot has exploded onto the scene as rock's foremost group with their self-described dirty groove rock. Crobot is one of the most iconic bands of this decade. With its comical relief, out-of-this-world songs, and powerful stage presence, the band has an ethos unlike any other band before or after to come. They have proved their tenacity and ability to not only tour with bands such as Anthrax, Motorhead, Sevendust, Volbeat, and releasing their second studio effort, Welcome to Fat City today, September 23rd. They also have their own brand of hot sauce and beer. The band has a knack for telling a story as well as throwing down a groovy metal bit that will rock your soul. Their stage presence is a sheer panic attack on steroids. It is a true seance of rock and roll. Performing today with Sevendust. Ladies and gentlemen, beardos and dudettes, welcome the world's greatest bass player, Jake Figueroa. Jake, how you doing, sir?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Thank you very much for the introduction.
Hey, no problem. Like I said to a lot of fans, you guys are just epic. The first time I saw you, it was Upper Darby in Philadelphia. You were touring with Motorhead, and you stole the show pretty much.
Oh, thanks, man.
I did have one question, though. What happened to the hair?
Oh, the hair. I got sick of combing it, man. So I woke up one morning and the brush kind of stuck in the back of my head, and I figured I'd just pay somebody to chop it off.
You guys are an epic show no matter what. Even beforehand, you guys always give the fans the time of day. Sound check, Brandon was talking with us. Bishop was getting called out by the fans to do a solo. What was your first thought when you guys were told, okay, we're going to do Rock Allegiance and we're going to do the festival?
We were all just super stoked, especially doing stuff that's closer to home and, the East Coast stuff. Get to see a lot of the hometowners, and anytime you get on a bill like that, too, it's great. You get to see a lot of the cats on the road, Anthrax and all those guys, and the Volbeat guys. Running into them frequently is cool. Everybody's a nice, big, happy family back there.
I gotta tell you, for as early as it was in the day, you guys had an amazing crowd. I was just stretching all the way back. One thing, I don't know if you remember, and you probably don't, I don't blame you. When we were at Upper Darby, I told you at the end of the set, you're the greatest bass player. You jumped down, you gave me the set list. Of course, me being a fanboy, I'm like, oh my God, this is so awesome. But then I looked at it and I was just like, this is insanity. It wasn't just the songs on it. It had cues for the lighting and etc. And even the lighting was funny. It was like, if you see the backdrop, make the eyes shine. Or my favorite one, make the stage look like it's on drugs. I thought that was hilarious. What goes into the prep for the stage show when you guys go out? What is the production like for you guys?
A lot of times we're just really working with what they have in-house or what a headliner would provide or allow you to use. We don't travel with our own sound guy right now or anything. We're really do-it-yourselfers. We just set up our gear, real simple setup, throw our gear on real quick, can get on and off in like 8 minutes or so. If there's a house lighting guy, we just give him cues like that and, make it look like stage is on drugs or like we're coming out of the gates of hell or something. And they appreciate that because then they realize, oh, all right, I can have fun with this. Nobody's going to be seriously criticizing the work. It's like, man, we're all here to just jam out, have fun. Everybody's got a bit of a job, but there's no reason we can't have a blast doing it.
I'm very curious to how you guys developed your stage presence. One of the things I like about you personally is bassists get crap all the time. There's all the bassists that people say like, oh, they're great. Lemmy's great. They say Steve Harris is great. They say Flea's great. But there isn't a lot of bassists that inspire musicians to pick up a bass. I play all instruments. I love playing music. But when I saw you come out, I was like, yes, finally a bass player that not only knows what he's doing, but he's also giving you a feel that, damn, that's really cool. I really want to pick up a bass and be cool like him. What was that like developing your own style?
Really, it kind of came down to just what was comfortable. I had always kind of been wondering where my niche was going to be musically. I started out playing saxophone, and then I went to guitar, and then I stopped playing guitar and started singing, and then I started playing bass, and always kind of picking one up and putting the other one down. Finally, getting in with Crobot, really being able to lay into a lot more of the riffs and the grooves, and stylistically being able to almost play guitar riffs that I wanted to play, but translating them to the voice of bass kind of just fell into itself. Staying in that pocket was fun too, because I realized I can jump around like some kind of T-Rex or whatever, stomp around like a dinosaur a little bit, kind of whirlwinded from there, you know. And plus feeding off of like Brandon and Bishop, I mean, you could have everything in the world that you want planned, but when you hit the stage and got guys throwing back that much energy at you, you know, you can't really help but to reciprocate and just kind of freak out.
Yeah, I just love the dancing between you and Brandon. It's back and forth, and of course Bishop, he knows what he's doing on guitar. When you hear it, you're like, God, he's good. And your brother has such a great ability of keeping time and keeping the band together.
Yeah, Pauly moves very well with it. He has this natural way to either push a beat or fall just behind it, where especially live, those little upticks or downticks in the tempo can really make a riff just boom, you know?
I want to go back to the performance you guys did at Rock Allegiance. I'm curious, when you are getting ready for a festival and you're going to have all these people coming and there's a huge opportunity to push your album, how do you guys come up with your set list? Is it more, this is what we want to play, or this is what we think will fall into a good groove?
Kind of both of that. Some days we feel a lot differently. My mom's asking me about cooking some chicken, and all right, we're going to hear chicken getting pounded in the background, so it's just a little bit of texture for the interview. But I think it's a little bit of both going into the sets. Sometimes we want to get a certain song out a little bit more for whatever reason, so we'll arrange the set accordingly. But a lot of times it's just we try to put together what songs that we want to play the most, whether they're new or old, and then find a steady flow. Start out with a big hit and then slowly mellow it down and then bring it up for the end, you know, nice little ride on the waves.
How do you feel when the crowd acknowledges you? How did it feel for Rock Allegiance? Because this guy came out, people were harassing him from the start. You're not Jake, who are you? Got a bunch of boos, and then when you came out, it was like a big eruption of like, yeah, Jake! How did that feel for you?
I mean, that is something that'll make me just grin from ear to ear for days. Even just hearing your description of it, I'm smiling like a little kid right now. Nothing can make you feel like that. It's just so incredible. So grateful to actually experience something like that. It's pretty cool. It puts you beside yourself for a minute there, just like, whoa, dude. It's really cool, man. People dig me.
So you guys went through a couple, Spaceborne Killer, Mano de Lucifer, which I don't know if you guys knew. It started to drizzle. Mind you, ladies and gentlemen, it was clear daylight outside, and when they're playing this song, it started raining outside, and we're sitting there like, is that God or Satan? Who's supplying this? What I thought was cool was I was screaming at you guys, play Mammoth, play Mammoth. I know you got your set ready to go, but it's a little fun, crowd interaction. But Bishop said something to you. It looked like he said, we're going to do it or something, and then you guys went straight into Mammoth. So I was wondering, do you remember what you guys said before the final song?
I don't know. It's probably something really weird and meaningless, or, you know, we always say the weirdest stuff to each other on stage. So, I mean, it really could have been anything. Could have been a dad joke or a dick joke or a do you smell that?
Here I'm thinking, oh, wow, they listened to me.
I mean, it could have been. There are times where we do that. We'll just hear somebody yelling something if it's not in the set. And we're like, you know, it, you want to do it? Yeah, we'll do it. But I can't guarantee it, man.
I want to hit the new album dropping today. Welcome to Fat City. You guys have one of the most creative minds, musically and lyrically, when it comes to this day and age of rock and roll, because a lot of people feel that it's losing its touch. It's not the same. There's a lack of creativity in music in general. But I honestly want to say that this album is something truly to behold. Do you remember what the writing and recording process was for the album? And please don't say that it's like Black Sabbath effing George Clinton.
For the writing process, we get in the jam space behind Brandon's house, practice some of the tunes, and just kind of get a little loose, have a few beers, you know, maybe smoke a doob or two, and throw riffs around and just play around with those ideas. Sometimes that's how we'll start when we're warming up, even before we run through a couple of tunes or whatever. You know, one of us will just be tinkering around with a little riff, and all of a sudden Pauly comes in with a sick beat. The next 20 minutes, we're just end up looping that. I'm like, hey, man, maybe this is something. A lot of it falls together from real feel grooves, whatever we feel like kind of shaking to at the time, you know. We've gotten really, really lucky to have a chemistry between all of us. Brandon will start scatting over a microphone Pauly will pick up on that, and Bishop will run into a riff, and then I'll jump in with a bass line, or, however it might go. But, we all really do feed off each other real well, pretty naturally. I mean, I think Welcome to Fat City was actually the first song that we wrote for this album, obviously not knowing that it was going to be the title track. That was exactly how that one started. We just got together after a couple of weeks off, and that riff came out of somewhere, and boom, we just kind of rolled into it, let the song write itself.
And that kind of sums up what you guys said beforehand. You guys said that Crobot defines itself, a trend that subconsciously works, and you make up your own sound. You don't try and copy or do anything else. It's 89.1 WYBF, and I am here with Jake, the world's greatest bass player from Crobot. We're continuing the interview. Like I said, I love Plague of the Mammoths. I just wanted to know, do you remember writing it?
Well, actually, that song was a completely different song when we had brought it into the studio. It was totally different. There was like 3 or 4 other parts to it. So we get into the studio, and we did a rough track of it. We're listening back, and, we weren't really too into the direction of the final product. And nobody was really feeling it. Even Machine, the producer's like, something's a little different. And one day, we just decided to pretty much cut everything else out except for that main riff. I had just finished building a bass where I wired a fuzz pedal into the bass rather than having like tone knobs and volume and stuff for the pickup. The pickup's wired to the fuzz pedal, and that's wired to my input jack, and boom. When we started playing Plague of the Mammoths and I was using that fuzz, it created that crazy feedback, that boop, every time I muted the strings. We just got stoned out and played that for like an hour or so, and then oh, I'm sorry, am I allowed to curse?
You could say whatever you want.
Oh, all right, cool, man. Yeah, we played it for a while, and it was just awesome and sludgy. And Bishop had that super fast bridge riff that we do, the battle-yoodly. Awesome metal bridge to put in there, and it was just like, man, I think if we just rewrite the song like that, it's going to be pretty wicked, and we really, really liked that product, so that was a cool one. There was a few that came together like that in the studio that were either parts of different songs or ones that we thought were going to just get scrapped that ended up coming to the forefront, being all our favorite.
What was your favorite song to record on the album?
Favorite song to record? Actually, probably for me, Moment of Truth.
Moment of Truth?
Yeah, Moment of Truth. I really like those slow, moody, kind of bluesy tunes. And that's really what I kind of grew up learning when I started playing guitar and started playing bass. It was all blues-oriented stuff. Those kind of slow-moving, bluesy R&B kind of feels, were always something that I'm drawn to. So being able to put a song like that together, and especially just the whole overall feel of it, even the choruses really vamp that song up, but it still sticks to that blues bass. To be able to sneak that in on a, record that has, say, a song like Plague of the Mammoths or a song like Fat City, is pretty cool, man. And I think we pulled it off well. I hope that's what everybody else thinks as well, You
don't have to worry there. You guys are doing something right. Give a little bit more explanation to the concept and idea behind Fat City.
Well, all of the content of the songs ends up, whether it's already an idea or a developing idea of the kind of Crobot universe that Brandon has lyrically created, and he's also doing a graphic novel based on stories that have to do with the songs and the characters that are in the songs. Bishop, he does all the artwork, so visually he ties all that stuff in together. Going into it, we did those campaign videos online because tongue-in-cheek, obviously it's election time, so we can play off of that. Plus, kind of went with the whole introduction of the city of Fat City. Brandon was reading a lot of the Hunter S. Thompson stuff. I think there was a Netflix or some kind of documentary on him, and there was a portion that spoke about how he ran for sheriff of Aspen. He wanted to rename the city Fat City so that, all the real estaters and corrupt businessmen wouldn't go in there and make it this commercial enterprise. Brandon kind of reversed that idea and made a planet, Fat City, where all of those corrupt elite or even just sleazeballs, whoever, gamblers and everything, all of that kind of lewd behavior is more than welcome. We thought, well, what better way to kind of start putting that idea across and promote the album as an obviously very one-sided mayoral campaign race where there's actually only one candidate you can vote for, and it's obviously a big old sham. We're just here to smuggle some gravy and do that thing, but a lot of it spins off that. And, he tells us these ideas and we kind of like riff around with them. Yeah, that was the idea behind the campaign videos and stuff, was just another one of those ideas. We figured, hey man, why don't, we keep on elaborating on it with inside jokes and stuff. Why not try to put some of them down for the promotion aspect?
Now, you guys have been touring with Airborne, Volbeat. You guys have a show with Seven Dust tonight, which he was really good at, Rock Allegiance. When you guys were out on tour, so far, with all the things you've done, was there a particular artist or band that gravitated to you guys, that tried to be a fatherly figure, try and show you guys the ropes, try and help you out, kind of push you in the right direction and give you guidance for how the music business is?
Oh, most definitely, Well, a lot of the guys that we've been lucky enough to tour with have all really, really, really extended, their very warm welcomes and helped us out. I think the first ones really come to mind, Rob Caggiano and Volbeat guys. They told us from one of the first times they had seen us, they're like, man, it'll be a bit, but we're going to take you guys out on tour. We want to show you guys some real good tours and this and that, and they did. Now we're going over to Europe with them the end of the month. It's going to be insane. Even like the Anthrax guys, super nice. Really, they're open to talk about anything. They always want to check in with you too every day and see how you're doing when you're on the road. If there's anything you need to know about, let me know. Here's my number. They're all super nice dudes, those guys, and the Seven Dust guys too. They have been trying to bring us out on the road with them for a long time. We always just had slight schedule conflicts. Finally, this year it came to be, that we were both like, hey man, let's do it. They're like the nicest guys in the world. It's ridiculous. They'll tell us stories about when they were coming up, our age in the business and everything. And it's really cool to be able to see that end of experience up close and personal.
I can't express how much people were freaking out when they saw Rob Caggiano come out and play bass with you guys on Spaceborne. That was probably the best treat of the whole night, or day. Sorry, it was early in the day. You guys stated that the reason why you think you've become so successful in the few short years, it's only been 3 years, and you guys have achieved success where other artists they can go 5-10 years with nothing, and you guys are really coming up through the ranks. And Brandon stated that it was more of you guys putting it out, giving what you got, loving what you did, just this whole idea of giving what you got through transparency. And when I think of other musicians, I think Kiss, Nancy Gray, maybe not the most talented artist, but because of their passion and because of their love, they succeed. What do you think it is about working so hard and giving all you got that makes people appreciate what you do as a musician?
Well, I think what it comes down to is that's what translates when you play. People can see that visually and emotionally when they see you playing live. And we just want to be real dudes. We just want to play. There's nothing crazy or mystical about us other than the fact that we got super lucky and, we have this opportunity to play rock and roll. It's really incredible. But I think that, it just kind of shows. We're out here sweating and we're out here grinding and playing, and it's not because of anything other than the fact that, we want to do this, want to be here. It's not some temporary mindset for us or anything. This is what, we've always wanted, and we're going to continue to do whatever the hell it is we got to do to make sure we get good gigs and perform the best that we can. It's really crazy thinking about it, but I guess the best way to show that you want to be there is to be there,
And like I said, transparency, which the definition is acting in a way that is easily seen and understood. And you guys do that every time you hit the stage. You represent a good time and great music. Are there any career goals that you guys have as of right now? Because I know you guys have stated you want to go to Japan, you want to go to Australia, you want to play Wembley and MSG. But I was wondering, are there any immediate goals?
You know what? I don't even know, man. I just want to keep on doing it. Whatever has to fall into place for this to continue, that's my immediate career goal. Whether it's album sales or tours or I don't even really know. I just kind of want to go with it. Hopefully it keeps on going, That or like maybe, actually no, I'd say immediate career goal, because I'm going to the deli right after this interview. It's going to be win the Mega Millions. Yeah, that's my immediate.
No,
I'll chip you off on a mill if I do, man. That would be cool.
Speaking of being lucky, you guys are true entrepreneurs. You guys have your own hot sauce and your double brand ale. What made you guys studious enough and clever to do that at such a early stage in your career? Also, when is MTV going to change their name to Crobot TV? Is that still happening?
Yeah, actually, that's in the works. MTV should be transitioning to Crobot TV within the next business quarter of the year. But yeah, the hot sauce and the beer that kind of fell together. The beer came out of nowhere when we played the show in North Carolina with Clutch at the Orange Peel. A dude came up to us at the merch table. He's like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Mark. I'm a brewer." And we're like, "No way, dude." He's like, "Yeah, man, I thought you guys were pretty cool. Why don't you come to our brewery? It's not far." So we went down there and we got nice and drunk, and they showed us all their beers and their whole facility. It's awesome at Double Barley Brewery in Smithfield, North Carolina. Yeah, and they told us, they were like, "Hey, man, would you guys be interested in us brewing a beer for you?" And I mean, obviously, who says no to that?
Right.
I mean, dude, we can make our own beer. Like, this is awesome. You know, we went for it. You know, the same thing kind of happened with the hot sauce, and it was a smart business move in the sense that, man, we kept on losing so many bottles of hot sauce on the road, because when you keep on going to Denny's, man, you can't rely on them having a good variety, so you got to stop at, like, the Walmart and, like, get a couple of bottles for the van. We kept on losing them, and we were spending a lot of money on hot sauce. And, you know, it was like, dude, we got to do something about this. Got the merch line going. It was like, all right, well, we always have like 3 cases on us at all times. If we lose a bottle or 2 here or there, you know, like, we'll just really try to push them at the next show to make up for it. And, I mean, that also led to the rolling papers.
Right.
We kept on losing rolling papers. It's like, man, when you're spending 2-3 times a day just to buy a package of papers,
Right.
like, something's going on here, man. I gotta about very small profits adding up.
I'm curious, what happened to Dave, the namer of your band? Because I went through some of the stuff that you guys were considering to name the band, like Robot Johnson, which would have been great for me. One name was like The Motherlode, which I think was still pretty cool. That's a great band name. I might steal that. But how's Cousin Dave doing?
Dude, Cousin Dave is awesome, man. He plays in a couple of bands local to Pennsylvania there, and he's always a good time. You know, he knows how to have an awesome time. He's like the nicest guy in the world, always smiling, the jolliest, awesomest dude. Cousin Dave is our dog. And he'll show up out of nowhere, you know, and it's just like with a cooler full of beer, smile on his face. No matter what kind of time you're having, it's going to be good, you know.
You guys said you would do a sci-fi concept album. What would you like to do a sci-fi album on?
Me personally, if I were to do a sci-fi album, it would definitely have to be based on some kind of smuggler or one of the Han Solos of the galaxy or something along those lines. And plus, you know, Han's got Chewie. What better of an intergalactic puppy dog than a giant puppy dog with a huge bow-slinging laser beam gun thing? Like, that's my kind of dig. That's definitely what I'd be doing. I'd be smuggling spices and chilling with my space dog. And that's pretty much probably what the album would be about. There'd be a lot of long, drawn-out, spacey parts, you know, real tripped out, just because all those long flights in hyperspace, I'm probably just going to be curled up with my space dog, petting his belly and stuff.
So no Captain Kirk looking for the green girl. Hey,
Yeah, oh yeah.
I have one more question for you. What is the best piece of advice that you have been given that comes to mind right now in life in general that you think is vital to share with others?
Best thing that I could say has actually been told recently to me a bunch is just, if that's what feels right, then just do it. No other way about it. Doesn't matter if it sounds crazy or if it sounds however it sounds. If that's what you think you should do, then go with it. Follow your heart.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jake from Crobot, the world's greatest bassist. All you beardos, thank you so much, Jake. Hey, before you go, can we get an ID from you?
Yeah, of course, man. Hey, what up? This is Jake Figueroa from Crobot. You're listening to John the Ninja on 89.1 WYBF.